Good morning, legacy builders. Greetings, everyone. Let me just make sure we can hear each other. Good morning, good morning. Let's see who's with me. I see Dr. Roxanne and Rhonda. Good morning, ladies and beautiful legacy builders. Good morning, Jennifer. Sheila, good morning. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, everyone. And we have a few others joining. Come on in. Good morning, Michelle. Good. And I'm on Instagram as well, live. So good morning, Deanna. Great to see you. Yes, I'm navigating and joining in other streaming platforms for this important conversation today. Good morning. And as my community knows, let me know what you are drinking this morning. If it's tea, coffee, water, whatever your beverage of choice is, let me know. Good morning. I'm going to drink a combination of black tea and water today. So you're going to see me juggling between those two items. So come on in. And let's see what we have today. So I see some water. Yes. You know, I love everyone drinking the water too. I'm all about that water life. Calandra, good morning. Yes, lemon and ginger tea. I love lemon and ginger tea. Let me see who else. Rhonda, you've got your, what is that tea for me? Tad of oregano. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that oregano. Yes. Good morning. Yes, you got your, okay, water. I see you with all the water. This is great. Yes. Protein shake, Deanna. Okay. Yes, these are awesome. Good morning drinks. Everything we should be having. Come on in. Look, Calandra, you drinking that Kangen water? Am I not pronouncing that right? But I know that kind of water, and that's some good mineral water. All right, come on in. Let's get started. Let's get right into it. Kyla, great to see you. Have your water. Good morning, Francesca. I know you had a water. So keep on drinking, keep on sipping with me. Before we get started, let me remind you that the Revealed Masterclass starts next Wednesday, just a week away, just about a week away. January 17th, next Wednesday, we are beginning this our masterclass, which Mark and I are so looking forward to. It is jumping off. We are bringing information that will set you up for more financial fulfillment and certainty in 2024. We're having wealth building conversations. We're having special guests. As always, we're having daily prizes because I love giving away prizes. And so please, if you have not already done so, take a moment to register at legacyrevealed.com. Again, legacyrevealed.com. Register so we have you on the list. If you can't attend each day live, no worries. There will be a replay for those who are registered. So register anyway, even if you're not sure, so you can at least get the replays. They will be available for you and you'll receive them straight to your email so you don't have to worry about it. And make sure you invite a friend, invite family. These are real conversations the family members should be having, talking about money, talking about legacy, talking about how the 1% do it. And it's no longer about the 1% anymore. So let's bring in the people in your circle who you know you want to have these conversations with, but you just need a starter conversation starter. This is going to be such a great conversation starter for families and communities and friends alike. So this is where you really want to bring them in and get it started. So with that said, I want to go ahead and jump into it. Let me see who else we yes, we got some more wonderful people coming in. Pascaline, welcome. Markel, great to see you. Okay, so let's go into today's subject. Perhaps you saw the subject received, the subject line in the ad in the promo. That's what I'm trying to say. The promo that was set up, or maybe you saw the email that you received, and perhaps you thought, this is not for me. This is not my story. And I want to encourage you to listen in nonetheless. Tune in because what I will address today is relevant to you in one way or another. So, today we are talking about being single with no children. What is my legacy? And like I said, you may be thinking, oh, well, I have children or I am married. But I think we all are connected to people who are in the situation where they're single and no children, so we can relate to that in that way as being connected to others. So this information could be valuable for them. But more importantly, this everything I'm going to share is going to be relevant for you because it really doesn't matter whether you have children or not. It doesn't matter if you're married or not when it comes to building an intentional legacy. So here's where all this came from. Last week, after my last tea time, I received a message in my DM. Oops, I just knocked over my mic. I received a message in my DM that really hurt my heart, like it really got to me. And I'll tell you why it really got to me because it was from a beautiful person who is having a challenging time thinking about legacy. This is someone that shows up time and time again, and I know to be a legacy builder because let me tell you something. I'm always watching, but being a legacy builder shows up in you through and through. It shows up in your language, it shows up in your character, it shows up in your business and the things that you do and the things that you say. So, being a part of this community and the people I interact with, I know a legacy builder when I see one. And this beautiful soul is a legacy builder. This was the question that the person sent me, and the reason we are talking about this today. And I'll read what this person shared. As a single person with no children, how can I best think about legacy when I have no descendants? The person goes on to say, it bothers me, but I want to think about it positively and powerfully, not merely from a place of disappointment or lack. I love that second part because the first part, she's sharing the question, the concern. But the second part, she comes in with, but this is where I want to be. This is where I am, and this is where I want to be. There's this intentionality. Y'all know me, and all of us here, when we talk about intentionality, so powerful. And I just want to be able to address that. And Deanna, I see you have clients that are single and no children. So thank you for tuning in on behalf of your clients. That is such a wonderful thing. So this person shared some more details about their situation, which again tugged on my heart. And I knew this had to be addressed during tea time. And I told her, oh, we're talking about this today. So I'm sure she's tuned in, and I want to say thank you so much for just sharing, and you know who you are, and for allowing this struggle that you've been dealing with to serve others as well. This is what community is about. So thank you so much for this conversation because you are not alone. And so, here's where we are. Both Mark and I are as financial coaches have had to address this type of situation with several of our clients, and it continues to drive our desire to serve others in building a legacy. This drives our passion. These conversations do. What is my legacy is such a great question that we should be asking ourselves on a regular basis, all of us. and then defining that. What is our legacy? Here's why we are going to, here's why we're having this conversation. And this is what I'm going to show you. I want to show you why we should be having this, asking this question, how we should be defining it, and how to break it down. So let's get started. Let me just check the chats before I get started, because I know y'all are dropping some really good stuff here. Yep, I see you all. Single, no children. I do often think about my legacy will look like. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. Yeah, again, that's why we're having this conversation. And if you have children, if you are married, you need to be thinking about what your legacy should look like, okay? We should all actually be in the same frame of mind when it comes to legacy building. So, again, starting at the beginning, let's have this conversation from the beginning, and it is the beginning of the year, which makes it so perfect. So, what is legacy? At least as we define it in this group. Now, legacy builders in our community have an advantage. We know we have a specific way in which we define legacy. And if you remember, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm going to share it. But, I always like to give you all an opportunity to, let me hear what you're learning. Okay. So drop it in the chat. What is legacy? All right. Legacy is how other people will experience your existence. That is how Mark and I define legacy. So I'm going to break this down into 3 sections: other people, experience, and existence, particularly your existence. So feel free to drop in your definition of legacy, because, I don't have this coin. Legacy is one of those words that if you ask a lot of different people, they'll get different answers. So this is why I like to be very clear when I'm talking about legacy. What I'm talking about is how other people will experience your existence. So we're going to break this down. And all right, how other people experience your existence. And then I have some others there, which I'm going to go back and read. So first part, other people. What's other people? Other people's anyone outside of you. Others, not you, others. So that's pretty. I'm going to start with an easy one. Okay. That's pretty easy. That's who other people are. Anyone outside of you. So I want you to drop in the comments, list who are other people in your life. List who are the other people in your life. And if you're writing in a notepad, go ahead and write a list. I want you to start actually thinking about the other people in your life. Nephew, nieces, other relatives, coworkers, friends. There are a lot of other people in our lives, okay? So that's the first part. And I'll keep rolling for the sake of time, but we can really go in breaking this down. I'm going to do my best to get through this in our short time frame. But I really want you to think about that and go deeper even after this conversation. Experience this. Experience, the word experience has become one of my favorite words. I've become so intentional when I started actually living this definition. It shaped and changed and reframed my perspective on life, period. So that's why I want to really go into this with you. Experience. And I looked it up and defined in the definitions. There are a lot of definitions for experience. One is practical contact with and observation. Experience is also to leave an impression on someone. And as many of you know, I like to look up the etymology of a word because language has changed a lot, and it's very important for us to kind of go back to the origins. So of experience, go back to the Latin, it's try. And this made me think of a running serious joke in my family that originated with my daughter, Gabrielle. There was a situation with me actually where I guess I was not really putting a lot of effort into something. And Gabrielle called me out and responded with, Mom, you have to at least try, right? So, and that has become a running thing. Whenever someone puts a half-hearted effort into anything in our household, we just say, and jokingly, we'll say, you have to at least try. Okay. And it speaks a volume because when we were kids, our parents would tell us to do something, and we would say, well, I tried. And our parents knew exactly good and well what level of effort we actually put into it. Right. And they called us out on it like that was not trying. And how many of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about? Like there's this effort, there's an effort in it. So when it comes to experience, I'm going to ask you this. What experiences are you putting effort into? What kind of effort are you putting into your experiences? We're going to get back to that one. Just going to give you that to think on. So we have other people, experiences, the effort, trying. Okay. And then the third part is your existence. Existence is defined as a state of living, a way of living. And again, looking at the Latin, it is derived from come into being. Come into being. And also another word, another definition for existence is a state of being. So when it comes to your existence, I'll ask you this to think about. How are you being? How are you showing up in the world? Okay? Think about your existence. All that I am saying comes with such intentionality. How other people, everyone around you, will experience those intentional efforts, your existence, your being. So here's the thing you need to understand with what I just said. And it's probably going to require you to go back and listen to this. Of course, the replay is always available in this group, in this community. You have to think about with clear understanding. You will either choose between a negligent existence or an intentional existence until you decide to create an effective legacy. I'll say that again. You will choose between a negligent or intentional existence until you decide to create an effective legacy. So here's the thing. We're asking, what is my legacy? Such an important question because whether you are intending to or not, you're going to have a legacy. You're going to leave an impact. You're going to make an impression on people. It's going to show up. The question is it going to be negligent? Is it going to be effortless? Is it going to be negative? Or are you going to be intentional? Is it going to be powerful? Is it going to be positive? And the only way that happens is when you make a decision to operate your life with intentionality to leave an effective legacy. That's how serious this is that we're talking about here. And hopefully you can see that it makes no difference whether you have children or not. Your legacy is powerful as it is. So, how other people experience your existence can show up in two categories. And let's drill this down. Two categories that you may be familiar with, Mark and I talking about. Financially and intellectually. More specifically, I'm talking about your legacy can show up with intentionality through your financial assets and through your intellectual assets. We are really going into this during the Revealed Masterclass next week, so you do not want to miss it. You really want to be there because I only have a limited amount of time. I can't drill it in now, but next week, it's so powerful how we go into this. So, financial and intellectual assets. So I want, here's how everyone can leave. I'm processing this here because I really want you to get this. Here's how everyone can leave a powerful legacy using these two tools. And we'll start with financial assets. And I was jotting this down and presenting this to you guys today and just thinking of all the ways that Mark and I are helping others, helping families, helping individuals leave financial assets. And so I'll start specifically, again, with no children, because I think often we look at this as obvious when you have financial assets to pass down to your children. So whether you have children or not, there are still family members who can benefit from you setting up a life insurance policy, a trust, setting up, leaving beneficiaries, nephews. So the term rich auntie, rich uncle that's going around is very popular right now. Leaving an inheritance and a legacy for your nephews and nieces can be so powerful. And I have a relative who recently was a beneficiary from her aunt who passed away not too long ago. And she was single with no kids. And she left her niece as the executor of her trust. And just knowing how responsible that this particular niece is and how she will carry on her aunt's legacy and her wishes. She made sure that she set up the necessary tools to make sure that she would be remembered, that her existence will be experienced by others financially. And it really set this family member of mine up in a powerful way for her family. So being able to support the other children, the other kids in your life, along with nonprofits, setting up, setting up a profit as your beneficiary, setting up scholarships. Grants are one of the most powerful legacies that you can create, that you can name. You can put in your name and whatever name you want to truly leave a legacy for generations to come. Such a powerful way to impact from one generation, multiple generations, completely changing lives. So we're talking about other people's children. We're talking about nonprofits, giving to nonprofits and causes that you truly believe in, scholarship funds. These are ways that you can set things up through trust, through life insurance policies, through the beneficiary designations in order to leave a legacy, a financial legacy from generation to the next. All right. So those are just some of the ways you can do it with financial assets. And let's look at intellectual assets, because financial assets are not always enough. I believe that there needs to be a balance between financial assets and intellectual assets. And so and again, we'll talk about this in more detail next week during the Legacy Revealed Masterclass at legacyrevealed.com. So register. The intellectual assets. Here's how you can powerfully leave a legacy when it comes to intellectual assets. Tell your story. Write a book. Write a book. Oh, that is so powerful. And right now I'm telling you, I'm preaching to the choir because my kids have put a fire under me. Like they're holding me accountable to get my book written. Right now, my daughter is pregnant, and she's getting ready to have my first grandchild. And she's made it clear that I have to finish my book before that child is born because it has to do with raising successors. So that I have to get done because that's a part of my legacy. So, writing a book, thank you. I see the congratulations. Thank you very much. So, I encourage you, that is one powerful way in which you can leave intellectual asset is writing a book. Um, Business ownership. For those of you who are business owners, such another powerful legacy. You are building a legacy, and all the knowledge that you have to acquire in building that business can be passed on. It can be passed on along with the business itself. Yes, they're financial because having a business is a combination between intellectual and business and financial assets. It's a powerful connection between the two. And unfortunately, a lot of people struggle with passing that on to the next generation because they don't know how to bring the two together. But that's another subject for another day. However, intellectual assets in a business ownership can be so powerful, and sharing your knowledge and your skills with other people in forms of mentorship. Wow. I mean, just keeping all of your knowledge, all of your experiences, every part of your journey to yourself almost seems selfish, doesn't it? There are so many people that can benefit from every ounce of what you've developed through your life. Oh my goodness, what a powerful legacy you can leave through mentorship, by mentoring the next generation, by mentoring, if you're a woman, other women, men, other men, just by pouring into those who are waiting for you to see your value and share it in that way. So those are just in this time frame some of the ways, the powerful ways in which you can leave an intentional legacy through intellectual assets and financial assets. How will other people experience your existence? I am challenging you to take a moment, grab your journal, write down in 2 columns what are the financial assets that you want to leave and pass on, and to whom. On the next column, what are the intellectual assets that you want to leave and pass on, and to whom? And be intentional. Take effort, action into creating them, moving forward with them, operating in it. Live every day. Because the other way I didn't talk about is simply how you greet the next person you see is a way in which you leave your legacy. How someone experiences you in a room, how your presence is, how other people experience your existence moment from moment matters. And if you actually start thinking about your legacy in that way, every time you walk into the room, you are walking in with a power that has the ability to shape and move the energy in that room. And that allows people to transfer your energy, to transfer your existence, so that other people will be impacted and that you leave an instant imprint. Sir, madam, that is powerful. That it's in itself has so much value. That all by itself makes you enough. Now you add to it the elements that we talked about today, intellectual and financial assets, and now you're elevating your legacy to the very next level. So I encourage you to really reframe. Remember the 4 R's that we talked about in December? We took all of December to go through. Recognize where you are mentally. Reflect on why you think the way you think. Why are you coming up with the stories or the ideas that you have about legacy and whether you can or can't leave one? 3, reframe, and hopefully today's lesson was all about reframing how you look at legacy as a single person with no children and as a person with children, with or without children, doesn't matter. Reframe your idea about legacy. And 4, respond with intentionality, with power, and with purpose, knowing that each day, every moment is defining your legacy. Decide to leave an effective legacy today. It starts now. I encourage you each to do that. Thank you for joining me. Remember to sign up for the Legacy Revealed Masterclass. If you thought this conversation today was important and powerful, you have no idea what's in store for you next week, because these are the kind of conversations we're having, plus so much more, plus wealth building, again, financial assets, how to set that up right, intellectual assets, how to set that up right. That's the conversations we're having next week. LegacyRevealed.com, starting on the 17th. Be there. Invite your friends and family and community members. We're going to have a special prize for our members in the group who invite the most people. Yes, we're doing something a little special this time, just because some of you are incredible and y'all are inviting so many people. So we're going to have a special prize that I will announce in the group later today. So you can look out for that post. What that prize will be for the community member, the legacy builder that invites the most people. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for a wonderful tea time. Let me look at a couple comments here. I know I have to run off. I'm going to go back through this. Let me see. Instagram, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Sheila, thank you. I see your comment there. Francesca, so glad this was helpful for you. Marion, yes, please catch the replay. I packed in a lot today, so that's why the replay is here. Just kind of go back through it, take your time, pause, make that list, write down each part of that definition, and really work it out and become clear on what is your legacy. All right. Let's continue this conversation next week. But before then, I will see you at the next tea time. So have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care and bye until next time.